Hello, people. I've finally managed to get myself well again and recover from everything that's been happening. I've been off social media for a little while because of like a very extreme traumatic situation where basically I kept on getting non-stop every minute, literally every single second, every minute of every day, virtually getting non-stop prank calls. Just non-stop, 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 non-stop with extreme threats and abuse, saying that I should be the R word, I should be basically abused, and I should all these horrible things about me, and saying that all these horrible threats of abusing me, and really horrible threats, and saying that I basically just all these really obscene, vulgar, disgusting things, basically because I'd given my number out in a joking sense, saying people might as well just ring me up and give me abuse and threats. It made me extremely ill and was extremely traumatizing and traumatic, and like made me very terrified and frightened, and just all the threats of violence and all the threats, general threats. I think I've got a very good suspicion who the person is, but basically the police said they couldn't do anything because basically it was a private number that kept calling me, and they said they couldn't do anything about it. They said just don't change your phone number and get your phone number changed. So following their advice, I've had to get my phone number changed. New SIM, which is only £1. I think it was £1, a couple of pound. I'm not going to ever be giving this number out to anybody, no matter who they are. I mean, bloody hell, I don't trust a soul now after that. There are some really, really sick psychos out there that will actually just sit there all day trying to prank call somebody and give them extreme abuse and threats because of what they've done in the past. I mean, the past is the past, and the past is the past. I mean, nobody on this godforsaken earth is perfect. I'm not going to say I'm perfect. People tried when they were calling me to put words into my mouth that weren't actually the way things are. They tried to twist it round and put words into my mouth that weren't accurate, and say that I was saying things that I wasn't, basically, and trying to put two and two together. As we know, I threatened nurseries in 2017. That was an offence that happened. We know what happened with that, and we know what happened with it. And the nursery incident, yes, it was very bad. Yes, it wasn't nice. Yes, it was disgusting and vulgar what I did. I was warned by the judges that you have to stop doing these behaviours and prank calling people. So I've targeted. I did go through a phase throughout my life since a younger age of targeting kids myself. Obviously, there is the thing where obviously I got stung for messaging hunting teams and inboxing their pages with extreme filth and vulgar, disgusting words, and being really disgusting and vulgar and disgusting and revolting with the words I was using. Just really obscenities, which is similar to the prank calling nursery incident, sort of along them lines, with obscenities and nasty stuff. Then there was, I've got nothing to hide. I'll be honest about my life, and I'll say, yes, I was a nasty piece of shite. Yes, I treated people really badly, even my family and those closest to me, my partner, everybody in my life I've treated like absolute shit, basically. I've been nasty, abusive, vulgar, disgusting and vile to people throughout my entire life. Even since I was a kid myself, I had these really obscene, nasty, vulgar thoughts in my head since a kid myself about harming other people and causing as much harm to others as possible since I was a kid. I will be honest about that. That was something I've battled through since a kid. Unfortunately, the nursery incident did happen. The thing that I got stung for did happen. I've traumatised and hurt a lot of people myself, but not that I would ever go and do prank calls or send vulgar, disgusting messages to innocent people again, because I wouldn't. I just want to live a peaceful life with no offending. And basically, it shouldn't have to have come to the fact that I had to change my phone number. That was disgusting in itself, to get that level of abuse, and the police couldn't catch the person because I had no hardcore proof of who it was. Obviously, you can get assumptions, but you can't go on assumptions. But yeah, that's just the way it sadly is. I do feel bad about it. I feel that I need to explain it thoroughly. Words were twisted and put out there that weren't actually the accurate things. They were trying to put words in my mouth that I never even said and twist it round and make it sound like I was saying things I wasn't. But no, in general, these calls were very traumatic for me, so I now know how victims would feel if you're doing threatening, abusive prank calls and threatening people. I now know how that would feel. I mean, at the time when I threatened the nurseries in 2017, I was basically sitting in my pyjamas in the house and picking up the phone and just giving these extreme, obscene threats to the nurseries and saying that I was coming in a gang and all that, and all these kind of horrible, nasty threats and obscenities. They had to lock all the nurseries down. It was a very severe incident, but I was just sitting in there in the lounge in my pyjamas, absolutely laughing my head off and rolling around the floor laughing and thinking it was a right game and a joke and hilarious. And then, obviously, I just found it hilarious and funny to death threat people. I used to death threaten and ring up people in the horse community and threaten people that were selling horses and give them death threats and their families and all that kind of thing. So I've done death threat messages to people on and off throughout my life. Abusing police officers, punching, kicking, spitting, perverting course of justice, making rape allegations up about men that basically had never done a thing to me. Just basically doing vulgar, disgusting acts, prank calling the 999 police operators non-stop, again and again and again, with obscenities and stupid things, blocking the line, stopping somebody potentially from being saved because I was blocking the phone lines. Basically, yeah, things like that. I admit I have had a disgusting excuse of a life and been a disgusting person throughout the entirety of it, from childhood right the way to adulthood. When I was secondary school age, at my very first secondary school, one day I ran out of school, escaped from school, and went to this primary school or nursery or whatever it was now, with a massive sharp pointed plank of wood, a massive sharp pointed plank of wood and a massive house brick. I scratched somebody's car in the playground, in the car park area. I scratched their car up, got done for criminal damage. And I went into the foyer and started threatening the receptionist, saying, I'm gonna have everybody here, I'm gonna do this, look, I've got weapons, look, I'm armed, look, I'm gonna do really bad things. So yeah, it's gone from childhood onwards, basically. This isn't something that's a recent thing. For me to have gone as many years as I have without prank calling or death threatening or saying extreme obscenities to people is a miracle. I mean, the last time I genuinely did hand on heart offend was the incident that the Fact Freak has done a video on. Other people have done videos on, I assume as well now, where I exposed myself in a television screen and I was being grossly indecent, doing things I shouldn't in the television screen, and being a really obscene and vile and disgusting, and asking people to contact me and asking, yeah, you get the gist. asking for people to contact me and all that, and being really obscene, really indecent. Well, indecent exposure, I suppose, in a sense. And asking, well, I'm not going to be able to say it, but asking a certain age group to contact me, blah, blah, blah. That was the last offence I ever did. I mean, this incident with the calls of an abuse I've received has very much tempted me to start doing prank calls again. I have been extremely tempted, and I won't lie, I won't tell bollocks, I won't tell you a load of bollocks now. I have been extremely more tempted than I've ever been in my life, literally centimetres that close to walking in a phone box and prank calling the police again and saying obscenities to them. Or I even thought like going to Cardiff, and you know, I had all these thoughts racing through my head with the extreme traumatic abuse I received. Even thinking, trying to repeat what happened in 2017, I even had those thoughts. I did have thoughts of repeating what I did in 2017 with that prank calling incident. I did have thoughts of going to Cardiff and doing exactly the same thing in Cardiff, and I'll explain a bit more why the thoughts were about Cardiff. It's because I wanted to go to Eastwood Park Prison just to get out the way a bit, to have a good time in prison, and because I wanted to go to Eastwood Park Prison so I could actually get with one of the guards and get off with one of the guards. That was my fantasy that I'd been having, and sort of like all these weird thoughts got triggered inside my head and wanting to be in jail for a quiet life. And Eastwood Park's a good prison, ladies' prison. But yeah, I'm going to leave that there now. Anyway, people, I think I've explained enough, and I've been 100%, 1,000,000% honest. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I have been tempted. I've resisted all temptation. I haven't threatened anybody. I haven't done any of these prank calls that I was tempted to do. I was so close to doing it, but I haven't. I've resisted really strongly and managed to resist the temptation, which is where I differ from the old me. The old me would have just done it without being able to resist. The old me would have just gone and done it without even thinking. But this is how I've improved myself, where I'm stopping the urges. I'm stopping myself from doing that. Because nobody deserves to be threatened. It really, nobody. But yeah, okay, people, I'm going to go now anyway. Thank you. Bye.